get all 5 AWS or Azure cloud certifications and you're put into this all 5 club, you get this like sick jacket. It's the same jacket that is given to all 5 club members of Saturday Night Live. So I don't know if you know this, but if you've been on SNL 5 times, you get this like sick jacket. Well, we have found the person that makes that jacket, and now they make them for us.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Amazing Teams podcast where we talk about all things that make work better. Today I'm joined by Sam Reilley, VP of People and Culture at BSC Analytics. Sam started her career in international development, living and working in Ghana while helping scale social impact programs in rural communities. Since then, Sam has spent over a decade in people and culture, and one thing her team at BSC Analytics has become genuinely known for is learning and development. Sam, thank you so much for joining me.
Yes, thanks. It's great to be here.
You know, one thing I noticed is, so I'm from Croatia and the World Cup is going on and Croatia plays Ghana on Saturday and I hope Ghana loses. I just have to say, like, I'm sure Ghana is a great country, but right now
against, the UK was a real, wow, they came in hot. So good luck out there.
Exactly. So I'm like, go Croatia on Friday. It's just a timely snippet. But yeah. Sam, tell me more about how did you end up from living and working in Ghana in international development to running people and culture at a very high-tech company?
It's one of those things that if you would have told me while I was sitting in a meeting with a bunch of village chiefs and elders that you would one day be working for a tech company, I would have been like, no way. And I probably would have laughed. But now, zooming out, knowing where I am, so much of what I've connected to in all of my work is the people and figuring out how do you build a culture that speaks to the people and how do you build a business in rural Ghana that is made with the intention of the people that it is serving, right? And so while that started in my work in nonprofit and now has pivoted through my career and now at a tech company like BSC Analytics, I see that the people is the connection across all of it. And how do we build a place that people want to come to work to every day? They feel supported. They feel empowered, have the ownership to do what they want and really push their career. I think for me in my career, so much of what I've wanted to do was just do cool stuff with amazing people. And the stuff really was fluid. Maybe it was building businesses in rural Ghana, West Africa, or maybe it was sitting in a room full of engineers working with some of the most highly regulated spaces with companies and some of the smartest people that I've worked with. And those are the connections across my career.
You mentioned the engineers and highly regulated places. Tell us more about BSC Analytics and what you guys do there.
Yeah, we are a cloud and AI consulting firm, right? So we work with a bunch of companies that come to us with their problems and say, help, how do we do this? We truly have the best of the best. We put the best of the best in the room to solve their problems and then carry it through completion. The majority of our clients are in the highly regulated spaces. And so there is a lot to be just cognizant of. You know, they hand us their big bowl of spaghetti to help figure it out and we execute.
And then how long have you been there now?
5 years.
5 years.
Which is crazy. Yeah.
And you started in people and culture, right? You started saying, hey, this was your role to come in and help maintain employee engagement and retention.
Yep. My role at the nonprofit, like 5 to 6 months of the year, I was in Ghana, West Africa, right? And so I knew when I wanted to have kids, I didn't want to have that life, and Saha Global, the company that I worked with, it wasn't let's just move you into a different department. 95% of that team is Ghanaian, and that is so much of the role, being there and helping facilitate. And so I took a step back to figure out, what would this next step mean for me? And through that, one of the board members of the nonprofit was starting a recruiting firm. I joined that recruiting firm very skeptical of how I would like it. I actually loved it. And through that, actually met Kenneth Johnson, the CEO here at BSC Analytics. and then pivoted into this role. But yeah, I've been here for 5 years and have always been on the people and culture side.
Were you a team of one, or was there anyone already working in the people and culture area when you joined?
I was one.
So you were the first hire in
Yes.
that area. Okay.
Yep.
And how big is your team now? Because I know you have some people, right?
Yeah, so when I first came on board, it was a team of 20. They knew they were wanting to kind of pivot from working the small to medium to the highly regulated space. Now we're even building products, which is super exciting, and it's meant a lot of growth for our team. And they knew in making that pivot, there would be a lot of growth. So we grew from a team of 20 to a team of 40 within the first year, and then doubled in size from there. And now I've been sitting around 80 people on this team.
I'm so curious from your experience in working with the village chiefs in Ghana to engineers in mostly US, right? Your team is mostly US based. What are some similarities between what people like about company cultures or what people are looking for? Like, do you feel like people are similar in terms of what they want? Or are they different based on their geographies and kind of their walks of life?
Yeah, that's an interesting question. I think it really comes down to people feeling like they are heard, right? I am not sitting in my role saying that I can solve every problem that you see every day, but I'm going to listen. I'm going to take it into consideration. I'm going to continue to think about it as we continue to strategize around our future. And if I hear it from one person and then I notice it's like something that I'm hearing and is a problem every day, that feels different. But what's really important to me and across my entire team at BSC Analytics is that we can have the conversations, right? When people feel like they can't have that, that is a really big culture shift. When people have the ability to have those real conversations, this is what's working, this is what's not, and just have productive conversations on what that could look like for the future, that feels different, right? I can't solve everyone's problems, and like any job, there's pros and cons, and you have to take some of it. But the fact that people, I hope, feel heard is a really big piece of it. And continuing to think about that and keep that in mind as we continue to grow and scale and strategize for the future, I think is a big thing across the team.
What's the percentage of your team that's engineering? Probably pretty high.
Yes, it is like 75% of the team is made up of engineers. So,
and this is where the learning and development comes in, right? Like every time you and I have spoken a few times and you always mention your certifications.
Yeah.
Tell me more about what certifications are you talking about and why are those important for your company and your objectives?
Yeah, that's a really great question. Well, I think learning and development is huge. If you look at historical data and just data across different companies and what really speaks true to a company and what makes a culture great, it really goes back to the learning and development. What are you doing to help your team continue to grow on like large scale and on an individual basis, right? And so for us, because of the caliber of the engineer that we have on our team, that takes even more of an importance, right? Like people have to have that space to continue to grow, especially when you're in tech and it is changing overnight, right? And so creating a space where they have tools and resources to continue to do that is huge. When people come on our team, initially, we fully reimburse for any certifications and a lot of different learning initiatives. And a lot of people are like, is there like a budget yearly, monthly? And I'm like, no, go to town, like do it. We have a Slack channel in Slack where people share the different certifications that they have knocked out just to celebrate them as a team. Hey, tacos are being slung back and forth for different certifications. And I think that's the part. It's not just, when you zoom out, we were just talking about this a minute ago with certifications. They're not generally like a fun thing to get. People aren't like, I can't wait. But when you make it something that you're celebrating amongst as a team and you make it a competitive, fun thing, hey, if you get certifications, let's do this. We put a lot of different initiatives into play and incentives into play to help just continue and drive that learning. But I think just the existence of that learning channel is a really big one where we're celebrating them on an individual basis. We also have a lightning talk. So this isn't certifications. This is just a space where our engineers meet on a regular cadence to share the cool shit that they're doing. We had someone on there playing guitar and how he connected it to coding and all of that. Other people are sharing like apps that they have worked on the side, things that they have done and implemented in their systems to just help on their everyday. Again, that is cultivating a culture of continuous learning. And it's not just in certifications. I really think it's like how your brain is wired. And for us, technical aptitude is of utmost importance. It's not, hey, what have you done and what can I put you in tomorrow? But what have you done? And if I put you into a space that you have never touched before, how quickly do you find your feet under you? And I think if you're going to put people in those positions, you have to put also levers into play where they can continue to learn and resources that they can utilize to upskill.
And it sounds like obviously this is important for people, their own career growth, right? Everyone wants to come into work and say, this is how I'm growing and the company's supporting me and I have budget to go to town. But it sounds like it's also helpful with your clients. I presume that when you have a conversation with a prospective customer and you say, this is Joe and Joe has 10 certifications from AWS and whatever else, it probably helps build trust with your clients, right?
Yeah. I mean, our average engineer has 6 certifications. And so, yes, for sure. I mean, we tout on we're the best of the best. And I think certifications certainly don't tell the whole story, but they help push just the showcase and the stamps of approval to say, I'm an AWS expert. I'm an Azure expert. I have this many certifications in Kubernetes, and I'm a Kubstronaut, which is a thing that, our team has too.
We're learning.
But yeah, so just like those things are big. And I think it coupled with our team and how just excellent they are, the certifications just kind of push that even further.
I want to go to the Slack channel. Did you create the Slack channel? And you are is there an automation that gives people tacos when they submit something and say, I got a cert? Like how does it work? Like who's responsible for maintaining it?
Yeah. So when you get a certification, you get a badge usually issued through like Credly or something like that, right? And so you get that and you go in there and you just post, hey, knocked out this cert. And then the tacos start slinging for celebrating. Hey, congrats. That's awesome.
You don't have to automate it. It just starts.
Yeah. Yep, exactly. Not automated, just a natural cadence. But the learning channels, yes, a lot of it is certs. Others is like, hey, just saw this cool new course. Or, hey, I saw AWS is doing a new initiative for recertification. So it also just cultivates the conversation around the learning beyond just sharing certifications.
And then the lightning talks, how often do those happen?
We were doing them once a month and we got so many submissions from engineers wanting to share the cool things that they were doing. And so we've upped it to twice a month. And they're just an hour. Engineers get 5 minutes to share what they're doing. And then it cultivates conversations outside of that as well, of course.
Nice. And are you the one running that or is someone else kind of emceeing, scheduling, organizing?
Yep. So Todd Burnson, he's our CAIO. He leads the charge on a technical perspective, and he is top notch. He is heavily certified. It's crazy. And so he also sets the bar of the standard as well, but he hosts them and anyone can attend.
When you're recruiting new engineers, I know you have a couple of open roles on your website right now. Are you looking for people who are already certified, or do you want people who have interest into getting certified and then you can help them get there? Like what do you look for in new hires?
That is such a good question. What is utmost important is a high sense of ownership. I don't really care if you're certified. I do want to make sure people understand why we think it's important. And we do tie it to just like our career paths as well. Hey, this is our expectation when you go from engineer to senior engineer to team lead to solution architect. So that, of course, helps drive it too. But no, I'm not saying I need someone to be fully certified. Do I like it? Sure, great. But I have also talked to people who are certified up and down the block and can't do much of anything or hold much of a conversation when it comes to the technical level. And I would say their technical aptitude is low. When I find someone who is just an innate learner, has that high sense of ownership, that is huge. Through the interview process, I do give them our perspective on certifications and learning and want them to be really connected to that. And for the right people, of course, they are and get excited about that aspect of it. But no, not necessarily something I'm looking for someone walking in the door by any means.
That makes sense. So you're doing the Slack channel, you're doing the lightning talks. Is there anything else besides the All Five Club? I'm kind of leaving that for the cherry on top.
I actually just put together a new challenge for our product. It's an AI product that we have been building, and we have a product team that's really concentrated in that space. And I built a challenge to get all of our engineers in that system, not only because it will help it grow a ton and kind of fine tune the product even further, but also they're going to be having to use it. And so incentivizing them to get in there and learn and understand it is a huge piece.
How are you doing that?
So I just kicked it off actually this week.
Okay.
And our engineers are put into teams of about 4 people across the board. And so what I'm having people do is first tackle it on an individual basis. How can you use this product to solve something that is annoying you today or that you see could be automated or expedited in some sort of way, save you time, things like that. So people are doing it in an individual level, and then they'll come together as a team and say, this is what I'm currently using Ariad or what I want to use this product for to solve. And they are going to share that amongst a team. And as a team, they're going to decide, which one should we go in all together and even take it the next step further, right? Like, okay, let's take all these ideas, pick one, and then see how we can take it up a next level. And then they concentrate on that space, and then they will take that and fine tune it. And then we're going to do like a Shark Tank style pitch where people pitch their ideas. And then as a team, we're going to vote. We'll have a panel of judges that will vote. And there's a big pot of cash at hand as well. So that helps to motivate people too.
That's amazing. And how long is this challenge? When do you anticipate the Shark Tank episode coming live?
We kicked it off yesterday, and it's over a series of a few weeks that iteration is going to happen, where it's going to go individual, team, and all of that. And it will happen over the course of, it's June, so 3 months. Over the next 3 months, it will go down.
When you're strategizing new ideas, we'll focus them on learning and development. What's your philosophy behind coming up with those?
Our team loves to connect. We're 100% remote, right? And so I'm always looking for opportunities to build that connection. And when I can build the connection and it ties into learning and development, let's do the damn thing. Our team is super competitive, and so I put that. I wave some cash or maybe a trip involved, and people get pumped, along with, of course, the well-deserved bragging rights along with that, which is huge. In our last TacoCon, which is our company retreat, we had a casino theme, and the person who won the casino night then got to choose someone to wear a taco costume. So, I didn't even put in, that was just bragging rights, but also they just won a costume that they had someone else choose to wear. So just keeping it fun. I think our team loves the ability to connect. So just fostering that as a team, whether it's in Slack, Zoom, and a competition, just helps drive that so much.
One thing that has always resonated with me about your approach is that you just start. You're not planning for 3 years, hoping that it works out, over-engineering everything. You just start it. But I'm sure when you just start, sometimes things flop, right? You launch things and people are like, what's wrong with Sam? Why are we doing this? Have you had those experiences?
Yes. I mean, analysis paralysis is for all of us, right? And I will fine tune, and then we just got to launch, and we'll pivot as we go. When it comes to something that flopped,
and maybe not, because you pivoted, right? You learned, so you pivoted.
I know. Yeah. I can see low engagement a lot sometimes, right? And so each of these engineering teams reports into what we call a delivery owner, which is like a project manager type person. They hold a very big leadership role on this team. They're in with those engineers every day. We meet on a weekly basis, and I use them a ton. What's working? What are you hearing back from your engineers? What can we do? Let's like have those conversations on your daily stand-ups. If you're not talking about the competition or you're not talking about the next TacoCon, we're doing it wrong. Like, let's really invigorate that. And so just really making a part of the conversation and constantly having those lines of feedback back to like the culture piece. What I think is people feeling heard is big. You know, we kicked off this challenge on Monday and I talked to my COO and he was like, it sounds like some people are confused by the phases. And so we had 2 workshops, one yesterday, one on Friday, and I kicked off the workshop with, hey, I'm hearing some confusion. Let me break down this in a very simple way. This is phase 1. This is how it's going to work. This is phase 2. And that's just because I heard from, you know, conversations that he was having and even some of the conversations that I was having of people trying to understand, like, wait, what is it? What are we trying to accomplish here? And so ear to the ground is really big. Not being afraid to pivot, not being afraid to be human. We've never done this before. I want your feedback. All 5 is one of our clubs that we have that is learning focused. So people have to get certifications. And I just did a big pivot this year actually with that, because previously it was get all 5 AWS or Azure cloud certifications and you're put into this all 5 club. You get this like sick jacket that it's the same jacket that is given to all 5 club members of Saturday Night Live. So I don't know if you know this, but if you've been on SNL 5 times, you get this like sick jacket. Well, we have found the person that makes that jacket, and now they make them for us for all of our.
How did you find them? I'm so curious. How?
My RCO, the All 5 Club is his baby. He like it has been his idea from day one of like doing this, because he saw how do we continue to like push this learning, and it's making it fun and making it camaraderie. And a sick jacket and a trip to Disney can help push that.
Okay.
Sure.
So trip to Disney is part of it. So you get a jacket, which obviously you get to keep forever. And then you do an annual trip with people who have been inducted to the All 5 Club that year. How does that work?
Yep. So you're inducted in the All 5 Club once you get all 5, and that happens on an annual basis. Your first year at All 5, there's a jacketing ceremony where you are given your jacket. And then every year there's new members that we're inducting and jacketing for that club.
And then the new members get to take a trip to Disney.
Yep. All and old. Once you're in All 5 Club, you have to keep the All 5 status. You get to go every year.
You get to go to Disney every year?
Yep.
How long is that trip? Do you get to bring family? How does that all go? I mean, that will get us.
We keep it very team focused. Yes, it doesn't hurt that our CEO is located in Orlando, is a Disney freak himself. I can say that lovingly. Yes. But it's awesome. He knows Disney inside and out. And if you know the Disney game, it is a whole situation if you want to bring your family there and the planning that needs to happen to make sure you know what you're doing. But yes, it is. You come down. It's over 3 days, 2 nights. You get in one day. Then we do a full day at Disney, the jacketing ceremony, and then you fly home.
How many members of the All 5 Club do you have right now?
It's grown over the years. Right now, it's around 30.
Wow.
If I remember. But I just reinvigorated the All 5.
Yes, tell us more about what did it used to be? And then what is it right now?
Yeah, so All 5 Club, it used to be that you got all 5 AWS certifications or all 5 Azure certifications, and then you were entered in this club. But as I was sitting at the table and looking around and thinking about our team, is that at first that made a ton of sense. And now, you know, you got to raise the bar. You got to make people reach for it even further. So I actually broke the All 5 down into 5 separate pillars, one of which still stands as the certifications. Certifications are a part of it. But the other 4 pillars pull in so many other things. It pulls in a ton of thought leadership. So are you publishing articles? Are you on the lightning talks, sharing what you learned? Are you a mentor on this team? Because what I was noticing is sometimes like people that were coming into the all five, they could knock out certifications, but weren't necessarily like the leaders of the company. And so what I wanted the all five to really represent is the top of the top, the cream of the crop of like our company. And while certifications are a piece of it, there are so many aspects. It's the high sense of ownership. It's pushing thought leadership. It's getting the certifications, but it's so much more than that. And so I pushed it and was nervous. Is this going to be the flop of people being like, ew, no, I don't want to do this anymore? But no, it's been awesomely received. People are like, we get it. This makes sense, and are up for the challenge. I dared them. Not only do I want you to be a thought leader for our company, but pushing you to do articles and pushing you to do podcasts of your own or whatever you want. Like just be in the public as a thought leadership pushes your career at whole. Now people look at you as the expert. That's another piece of it, is that with that I launched a subject matter expert program with the all five. So it's encompassing a lot.
Okay,
but
tell
a lot
me more
of it
about that.
is
So you have the certifications, you have the
Yep.
thought leadership, right?
Yep.
What are the other three?
Okay, so the All Five Club is made up of 5 different pillars. One is technical competency. The second is delivery and execution. So are you contributing on a team aspect to the greater good of the client base, right? So not only are you learning on the side, but you're contributing and mastering that side. Thought leadership, which is pushing kind of the thought leadership of contributing to the lightning talks, public articles, learning and mastery, which is going to be your certifications, and then leadership and collaboration is the 5th one. So just trying to really push that thought leadership, like I said, to the next level beyond the certifications, and just ensuring that our team is keeping on with all that is developing in tech.
How are you measuring the other 4 pillars? Obviously, the certifications are very objective, right?
Yep.
Complete a cert, you're done. What about the other ones? Are you getting peer feedback? Is there some sort of review process before you become an all 5 member? How does that work?
Yeah, so we have quite a few levers. Yes, there's a peer aspect to it, which does, all 5 before when I was managing it was 5 certs. So you check the boxes and like, we're good to go. So the management of this club and program is different. To get a subject matter expert, you're getting a peer recommendation within your team. Outside of your team, you need to have examples of how you showcased that and really push kind of that mentor aspect of it. But it's team driven, which I think is a really important piece, in that we're all lifting each other up in our careers, and how are we bettering one another is a really big piece to it. So I mentioned thought leadership when it comes to like lightning talks and publishing articles, but we also have a thought leadership workshop that our leadership drives. So yes, you need to be doing the technical and be able to do that piece, but the real differentiator is then being able to talk about that, and being able to talk about that to a CTO, to a project manager that doesn't know all the technical, but is just looking at from like a project level. And that is also a big aspect which separates our team. And what makes BSC the best of the best is the engineers. Yes, they can do it, but they can talk about it and explain it in a different way. And that really pushes the thought leadership. And so we have a series of workshops that our CAIO leads, and it really pushes that kind of methodology in how you get there.
So it's internal training, in a sense, program that you created. So you're asking people to be thought leaders for all 5, but now you're giving them tools to go through kind of like training program to learn how to do it.
Exactly.
Earlier, you mentioned the subject matter expertise. Is that a workshop as well that you developed?
The SME program is one that I developed, and that is something that just kicked off this year. And that's the one where they have to get 2 peer nominations, I guess you would say. 2 peer nominations saying, yes, this person is an expert. These are some examples that I've had. They need to be driven by their manager as well, and really be showcased as a subject matter expert. And what I was seeing is that was happening naturally amongst our team. People were going to certain people as the Kubernetes expert, as the Linux expert, as the Terraform like guru, right? And so what I was trying to do was just bring some more formality to that. And which is also huge as we continue to grow. It's going to be less of the anecdotal, like, hey, I know Johnny's good at this or Fab's really good at Kubernetes. It's more like creating a space that we can continue to push that. I have worked with our CIO who has been helping build like a people portal to help navigate how do we like create that so that people actually know. Yes, we gave their stamp of approval of, yes, you're a subject matter expert, but what does it look like beyond that? So it is company knowledge that people can really utilize and use as a resource in their everyday.
And that's separate from the All Five Club, right? That's you can be a subject matter expert nominated by your peers, even if you're not pursuing the All Five Club.
Correct. But you have to be an SME to be a part of the All Five.
Yes.
So, yes, but it can be done separately.
Sam, if someone is listening to this podcast and they really want to start some sort of learning and development initiatives, programs, even just one workshop at their company, what advice would you give them in terms of getting started? Where should they start?
Talk to people. Like, get your managers who are over teams in a room. What are you hearing? What do people like? Where are they like falling short of, right? I meet with every single person on our team, top down on a regular basis with no agenda at all. It's just a check-in. How are you? What's going on? What's happening? What do you like? What don't you like? You know, all of that. And it's super casual, and it is just a space where like that, I think, creates a space where people see that I want to know. And so maybe that's just a catch up of what's going on with their family or their next vacation. But I'm opening the door for when there is problems or things that they're concerned about or things exciting that they want to share, that relationship has already been established. When I have ideas, I put together roundtables of people like who's been the most vocal about wanting this to change, who's been the least vocal, who are some people that sit in between, so we can all be in a room. What's going to work? What hasn't worked? I use that to like totally reinvigorate our bonus program and things. So I think it really comes down to that. Get in front of people, communicate, ask the right questions, and continue to push so that people continue to come to you with ideas so that you can continue to drive them.
That is great advice. I love it. What did you say? Ear to the ground earlier in the episode. Ear to the ground, always.
Keep your ear to the ground.
Well, Sam, we always end this podcast the same way, which is, as you know, in Hey Taco, you have 5 tacos to give to someone today to celebrate them and appreciate them. So my question to you is, who are you giving your 5 tacos to today and why?
Oh, gosh, that's a really good question. I'm going to go with, I just got off the phone with him this morning. Brian Dawson, he's the COO of BSC Analytics. And I think, you know, what makes our team and the culture so important, it is that it is felt across every role at this company, right? It's what we're doing. We're stopping, we're listening, we're venting, we're sharing, and creating the space where those can happen. It doesn't have to be the formal meeting. It is the one-offs. And I am super thankful to be able to have that for myself in someone that I report directly into. And I think I understand that importance because I feel it in the role that I am. And I want to make sure that that is felt across the entire team. So yeah, just keeping those doors open. But yes, I think the 5 tacos go to Brian Dawson because he helps push that. And it helps push me in my role every day.
That's a pretty big appreciation. All 5 tacos. Nice work, Brian.
Yeah.
Well, Sam, thank you so much for joining me on the podcast. I enjoyed learning from you and hearing all the awesome things you're working on at BSC Analytics. So thank you.
For sure. As always, nice to connect.
Thanks for listening. One of the important things about building a team is gratitude. If you're looking to add more gratitude into your team, check out heytaco.com. We are clearly biased, but it really does work. Use the code AMAZINGTEAMS to receive 15% off for the first 3 months of your subscription.